Welcome to the Altcoin Hour, your weekly alpha. Yeah, we breaking down the charts, flipping bags, playing smart. From the dips to the moon shots, connecting all the dots. Let's get it. Altcoin Hour.
All right. I have some bleed over. I think I have. So welcome to the show, guys. I think I got some bleed over. I think you can see me here. Boom. There we go. Having some tech issues. Hopefully there's no bleed over. I think I got rid of that. Let me see here. I think we're good because I think I had a bleed over of the last video I just did. And I hope you guys, I don't think you guys are hearing that right now. It was kind of weird, but let's go ahead and get my hand clap to you guys. Welcome to the show. Hope everybody's doing good. And man, we got bloody streets. What is going on, LMFG? Can you hear me, brother?
Yeah, man, loud and clear. All good.
Yeah, I think we're good, man. I had a catastrophe, man. I had a complete shutdown. OBS said, screw you. I don't want to operate today. You know, YouTube was like, screw you. We don't want to stream today. But I think I got it all right. So, I mean, it's a lot going on. I think AWS got hit over there overseas pretty hard. Data centers got hit. So, we got a lot to talk about, brother. As you can see, the market, the Bitcoin thing is pretty dramatic outside of the country. But what you have is a lot of international selling and that's really attacking Bitcoin. But internally within the US, a lot of buying LMFG. It's a stark difference when it comes to, enter the country, inside the country versus outside of the country. Lots. And I totally get why, internationally there's a lot of selling, but what's your take on that, bro, before we get involved here? Right.
Yeah. See, Iran is dumping it like crazy. Anything they got. And then you also have, what the hell? Sorry. Give me a second.
No, it's okay. Got the call center going there, man. Yeah, we're going to get into it, man. By the way, again, another hand clap to everybody that's coming in. Hope you guys hope you're safe. We're going to get into a lot. We're going to get into Charles Hoskinson, Cardano CEO, completely ripped XRP. He ripped XRP too. He says they're getting off clean. I don't think they really need this clarity. They already got clarity. We already talked about that. But the Clarity Act, not good, guys. Charles Hoskinson, he's ripping. He's telling everybody how it is, telling everybody about the red tape, the fine print. And like I told you, the banks are winning. Institutions are winning. The fund managers, BlackRock's winning when it comes to the Clarity Act, when it comes to legislation. But Jamie Dimon had some very interesting things to say. We're going to get into his comments. We'll get into what Charles is saying because he completely ripped the Clarity Act. 2029, I believe he's right. That's probably when we're going to get passage. And it's not going to be good for the space. Whatever version we get, I don't think it's going to be good for DeFi. I don't think it's going to be good for stable coins. But the talk of the town is this war and how it's affecting Bitcoin, so let's go ahead and get into what we need to get into today, because this is getting a little wacky, brother. It's getting a little wacky.
We're seeing everybody selling, but you've seen that seller just spent another 200 million on Bitcoin.
What? What's up, JR? What's going on, brother? I see you said the man with the gold makes the rules. Oh, that's a hell of a statement, brother. It's a hell of a statement, brother. You got to come up, man. Click that link, brother. I'd like to talk to you about that statement because we do see gold almost 5,500. I think it retracted a little bit. Silver is going bonkers. Copper is going bonkers. I think Jay told me earlier, Jay Thacker, he says buy metals. LMFG, what are you buying metals? I already have a lot of silver, little gold, but I tell you, I'm loving the tokenized commodities too. I like the Paxos gold. I like the Tether gold. You can buy that way too as well. What's your take on that? Because metals are flying off the shelves. A lot of people are converting, especially internationally. They're converting Bitcoin. I'll give you the numbers here in a minute, but as far as what JR said, that's pretty interesting. And what Jay was telling me, buy metals. This is what's happening internationally.
Right, yeah. And right now with the dollars where it's at, it's kind of a little scary too at the same time. Yeah. But I mean, a lot of people, I think Jay was saying this, I remember last year, it's like, LMG, get gold, buy metals. And it was $2,000. And it's like, oh my God, I can buy a whole bunch of Ethereum at the same price. Or I don't know. It's crazy. And look where it is. Is it going to go to 10 grand like some of these guys are saying?
Yeah, gold is suppressed. Gold has been suppressed, and actually, Donald Trump can actually revalue the gold at any given time. I think within the Fort Knox, if it's still there, within that stash, I think it's around $45 an ounce. This is how low it is. Has been regulated within the U.S. He could completely reverse that. Spot, I think the spot price is like 55 right now. Average 55. Taking in the fluctuations. This is an average I'm giving you, but yeah, man. I mean, Trump can reevaluate our stash at any given time. The price of gold is so suppressed. I think the current price, if it was not suppressed, if it was allowed to just run with the wind, it would probably be at around $15,000 right now, LMFG. Easily. So you're looking at the spot price, and we're talking tokenized commodities, it's $5,100 right now. So it did retract big time. And you're right, JR, it's all purpose. The market, LMFG, we're looking at Bitcoin right now, $68,000. Now, I want to give you some numbers here when it comes to the regional aspect, when it comes to the actual movement of Bitcoin. With its current price is $68,000. It's been bouncing around between 67, 68, right? It did touch 70K. Were you shocked when it touched? I wasn't shocked at all, because initially when we have these wars, a lot of money it usually runs to gold, but you have Bitcoin is actually outperforming stocks right now when it comes to that exodus. But then this international selling has just kicked in because Iran is really shaking up, and we'll get some statements on that too as well. Trump's coming out. He's saying a lot of inflammatory, stuff. There's a lot of inflammatory language coming out in the Middle East as well. The Strait of Hormuz is still shut. And a lot of people are like, it's not Iran, it's the insurance companies. I want to talk to you about that. It's the insurance companies saying, you better not run your vessel through that strait. If it gets hit, you bought it. And we're not covering anything. Even the extended plans when it comes to the vessels, you bought it. So there's some pressure there about the missiles, the threat of Iran taking out a boat. But at the same time, you have these large containers too that are running through there. It's not just oil, it's natural gas. The insurance companies are like, you know what? You bought everything. We're not covering you. You go through this strait, and your insurance policy is null and void. So I want to get your take on that as we get through these numbers, because you're seeing a lot of actual outflow when it comes to this. Now, these numbers are very phenomenal. Now, the crypto outflow from India alone, we're talking about the Iranian exchanges, guys. The Iranian exchanges spiked over 700,000%. All right. And this is on Novitex, one of Iran's largest platforms. Over $10 million was moved in hours, guys, after the strikes began, mostly to self-custody or foreign wallets as capital flights and sanctions hedge. So, and I want to get your take on the vessels too. The insurance companies basically dictating the Strait of Hormuz and the flow of product and gas. This movement within one of the largest exchange in that particular area, 700% when it comes to that exchange volume outflows. LMFG. This is starting to really get real.
Right. Yeah. Well, they'll probably put them on a treasure and putting them in their pocket.
Yeah.
You just throw it on a cold wallet, get ready to take off if you have to, whatever. And then with the insurance policies, 100%, dude. Mm-hmm. If you just look at your auto policy, remember I worked for an insurance company for 12 years. You just look at your auto policy and you read through all those terms and conditions, you will be shocked on how many things are mentioned in there where they won't have to pay. Yep. And how they can cancel your policy without even telling you. It's really ridiculous. And believe me, those ships, I can only imagine that the cost of the policy itself, and then how many pages are those terms and conditions. So you're 100% right. They told them, nope, don't move them. So they're not going to budge.
No, they're not. They're going to sit right there. Why would they?
From my understanding, though, most of that oil goes to China.
Well, Europe is going to be the biggest one that's going to get hit by this.
Not here.
Yeah.
And I think this is price gouge. Like I told you, I just seen it on the news, $3.09 in 24 hours. It was just $2.55 last week. So this is price gouging because there's no way they're paying that much right now for the oil they got.
No, absolutely.
They already bought it at $55 a barrel.
I think what you're gonna have is I think if this goes along, let's say it goes 5 weeks, because we know Trump wants it, they've extended the time. We may even get troops. I know the Israeli troops, they're rallying 100,000 strong is what the actual benchmark, this is what they want. They're pulling up reserves. I'm not gonna speak this into fruition. I really don't want to say it, but I think, it is what it is. Our administration is already alluding to it. We're probably going to get boots on the ground, right? So, it doesn't matter who's getting pulled into it. If America pulled itself into it, if they pulled Israel, at this point in time, none of that conversation is no. It doesn't matter whose fault it is. Iran is pissed, all right? So they've been decapitated, essentially. So the Hydra has grown new heads. And we don't know what the hell that Hydra looks like right now. We do know that there's a lot of flaming. There's a lot of flaming, a lot of artillery getting thrown in all directions. And what I'm worried about is desalination plants, the plants that kind of like pull the salt out the water. Those plants are very important for the Gulf Coast over there, for the Middle Eastern regions there, for the people, for pure drinking water, not, potable water, things of that nature. They rely on that water to be, the salt to be extracted from these plants. If these plants start to get hit, that is a major problem, bro. So this is what I've been watching, and hopefully it doesn't get to that point, because you want to really, destabilize the situation. You start hitting those plants, then the water goes bad. It's not good. So and that's going to affect stocks, right? It's going to affect everything. Now I want to get into this because this is another thing, and we're still on the Bitcoin. We're on Bitcoin right now. This caught my attention too, because this is one of the biggest Bitcoin miners, guys, within the States. I think they have some external entities as well, but this is pretty huge. You got to check this out, bro. So what you're looking at here is Mara. This is Mara Holdings statement here. All right. Now, I'm going to read this, and this is some actual documentations too as well. The largest publicly traded Bitcoin miner, Mara Holdings, is planning to sell the majority of its Bitcoin reserves, LMFG. This is huge. Mara has just updated its treasury policy to allow sales of its accumulated BTC. The company currently holds 53,000. I'm going to go ahead and round that up. 54,000, because you might as well round it up. The whole nominal value is 53,822 BTC coins. This is worth over I'm going to go ahead and round this up, brother. It's $4.7 billion worth of BTC. Let's go ahead and say $5 billion. Why not, right? Based on recent valuations, placing it just behind Michael Saylor's Strategies Holdings, LMFG. What the hell is going on, bro? If what's going on is scaring the largest miner, we're talking about billions of dollars of BTC that's about to hit the freaking market, bro. You add that on to what's going on internationally. I don't think the ETF inflow, institutional inflow, retail inflow, I don't think it's going to be able to keep up with this, bro. Because if Mara is thinking about selling their treasury, who else? We already talked about the miners. They're hurting, bro. They're underwater. And this is the big boys. The little miners are hurting too as well. They're already selling. They've been selling. Your take on this, bro? This really hit real hard when I read this.
Yeah, it's hopefully they do it smart. They don't go dumping 10, 20,000 of them at a clip, For God forbid they go dump them all at once and pull out all the liquidity that's out there. I don't know. Ugly.
This is nasty.
Do they have the right to sell? Yeah, but as long as they don't dump, I say, okay. Same thing with the miners. Like you said, the miners are doing it. They've been selling it, but they're not dumping. They're just paying their bills with, to make up for that difference. They're still mining, they're still grabbing 2 or 3 coins here and there, but it's not paying the bills. So that's where I look at it. If they go dumping, half of that or something at once, that'll suck. It's
going to suck real bad. This always cascades. You get the fear effect, the fear goes through the system, and then other entities start dumping, right? Because they don't want to lose their profits. You know what I'm saying? Fundis, he says, hopefully I didn't mention it. He says, who's Mara? Just joined. What are we looking at here? Now, this is one of the biggest Bitcoin mining conglomerates on the planet. They own well over $5 billion worth of BTC, and they're contemplating essentially dumping their treasuries. They've updated their particular paperwork with the SEC and with the IRS. This is what this is here. This is a Form 10K. And this is fear selling. I'm sorry. And then on top of that, they got to pay the bills because miners are underwater. Here's how the actual, this is what Miner actually, this is straight from the actual document. Quote, in the second half of 2025, we changed our digital asset management strategy to permit sales of Bitcoin generated from operations. That's very chilling. It's very chilling. Okay. And in 2026, it gets even worse. We expanded the strategy to allow for sales of Bitcoin held on our balance sheets. Accordingly, we may hold Bitcoin for long-term investment purposes and may also buy or sell Bitcoin from time to time, subject to market conditions and or our capital allocation priorities. Historically, we held the Bitcoin we produced as a long-term investment. In the second half of 2025, we began selling Bitcoin to fund operations. There you go, brother. You said that. In 2026, we expected to continue to monetize Bitcoins opportunistically to enhance our financial flexibility, including to provide liquidity or to fund capital projects and other initiatives that we believe enhance long-term shareholder value. There's your shareholder, there's your publicly held stock value as well. So they're appeasing there. There's that appeasement there. The shareholders are really talking right now because of what's going on in the Middle East. Now, this is subject to market conditions, like we said, and other capital allocation priorities. Additional details on 2025 sales. They sold over 4,000 Bitcoin last year to the tune of over $413.1 million to fund operations. So last year, it took almost $500 million just to fund the operations. This year, it's going to be a whole lot more. And they're losing. And there's a lot of fear-based selling internationally. You have Iran's biggest exchange dumping crypto essentially right now to fund the war. Let's just call it like it is. They have come out and said they can go 90 days. They can lob missiles, second, third, fourth, fifth generations ballistically for 90 days. LMFG. So what's your take on this? We'll get back to that too here in a little bit. But when you're looking at this with, this Form 10K form, I think you're going to see other miners, conglomerates, they're going to be filing 10Ks as well. Bitcoin is going down. It's going down. There's too much fear in the pipeline. Going down. And I think once BlackRock reaches its threshold, I don't think Michael Saylor is going to sell. He has to hold. He is in a pinch. I'm starting to feel really bad for this guy. It's not looking good for Michael. He can't really sell unless they get the threshold, the strategist threshold, which he told us it was 5K. Am I saying that? Am I remembering that right? LMFG, he said that the threshold?
Yeah, it was 5 or 8K, something like that. Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Crazy.
I don't want, it must be a parallel universe I woke up in. I don't think we're in Kansas anymore. This is weird. Your lasting take on this before we move on, brother, with Mara and then, the Iran situation. And we'll move on because we got to get to some other news too as well. We'll flip back to Bitcoin.
Like I said, we won't know until we see how they do this. Or they dump billions of them, or they just, slowly sell it to pay the bills. And that's what I hope they do. We'll see.
Well, in other news, here's some good news. There's not a lot of good news out here, guys, but this came out of Japan. We'll throw this in here just for just to lighten up the news day. The Bank of Japan has announced that they will experiment with blockchain to settle deposits held by financial institutions at the central bank level. This is pretty interesting because we're talking central bank level blockchain use. This is where we want it. This is how it's going to kind of like splinter out into, regional and local situations. If the Fed is adopting it, if the central banks are adopting it, it's going to trickle down. Wouldn't you say, LMFG? And we're talking enabling 24/7 instant settlement and reducing gridlock risk in stressed events. And this is what blockchain is for. This is what it's going to be able to do. It's going to be able to allow things to flow even. And it depends on the blockchain, because we don't want Solana running this thing in Japan. But you're not going to get good throughput. But with that being said, this is decent news too. We had to throw this in. What do you think about that? 24/7 instant settlement. We're talking about on a central bank of Fed level. Japan's going to go ahead and implement this. So, I think it's cool.
Yeah, and we'll have to see what networks they're going to use. Are they doing their own? Or are they going to use the ledger, the XRP ledger? Or, because XRP's already, Ripple's already a bank over there, I believe. I'm not positive on that, but
right.
They're all over the place. And then, and what sucks with this Clarity Act guy, like you see all these other countries doing this. This could really hurt us because you're going to see companies say, screw the United States.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't even play with Ondo here.
Yeah, that I don't get that.
No, because of Clarity Act, dude. I don't blame them. I don't blame them.
I mean, but you got to turn Ondo loose. I mean, they just put the token. They went hardcore last week. I mean, you got to turn Ondo loose. It's no threat there, bro. There's really no threat there. I tried to find a threat and I couldn't find a threat with Ondo. You got to let it go. That I don't know. Maybe it's a threat for the institutions. Maybe the banks are like, no, we want to do it. I get it. But this is crazy talk. And we'll get to what Charles is saying because he's ripping the Clarity Act. I've ripped the Clarity Act. You've ripped the Clarity Act. There's a lot of people that are for it. I think it's a bunch of lunacy. I think it's insane behavior to think that you're going to get the banks to agree to allow entities, and exchanges like Coinbase to allow 4% yield. They're not going to allow that. They're going to go to their grave. They're going to fight all the way down to the dirt to prevent that because they're done. If Coinbase and Kraken, Binance, if they're allowed to give you yield above 4% for just holding a stable coin, the banks are done and they know it. So they're going to fight this and they're winning, unfortunately. They got a lot of money. A lot of Disney trips are being passed out, unfortunately. $68,000 for Bitcoin right now. This is what we're looking at fluctuating. We'll get back to Bitcoin because, here's the thing. Like I told you, the U.S. is the only market buying Bitcoin right now. And those dips are being annihilated, guys, decimated by international outflow. It's really sad. Bitcoin right now, while the international smart money keeps taking profit, is stacking, and the U.S. is the only one that is stacking. And we're talking about BlackRock. We're talking about Sailor. And here's the actual, insert that we just talked about. That is not, I don't think this was baked in the cake. And that's the miners, large miner conglomerates that are filing 10Ks and they're about to sell their treasuries. LMFG, that was not baked in the cake, brother. That was not baked in the cake. So we'll see. Meanwhile, US injects $3 billion just recently into the banking system because of the oil prices. And by the way, let's go ahead and sneak over to this stock market report. You want to see some blood? There you go. S&P 500 down 56 points. You got the Dow Jones almost down 400 points, guys. We get into some dangerous territory here with the Dow. NASDAQ almost down 300 points, right? Mag 7 looking very, very not so magnificent. You have NVIDIA down almost 2%. Tesla down almost 3%. Palantir down almost 2%. All right, 6% on the Micron is almost down almost 7%, guys. Google down almost 2%. Microsoft is up just a bit, which is a little weird. Almost 1% up. I don't know what's going on there. Futures, I don't even want to look at futures. Okay. Commodities. LMFG, we're talking about Brent, we're talking about oil, crude oil, WTI. We don't want this to get to $100, but you're seeing Brent getting really close to 85. You're seeing crude oil, on our side, getting pretty close to $75. Silver 82, gold fluctuating. It's above 5. No one predicted that this year or last year that it'd be over $5,000. Copper is almost $6. Copper is crazy right now. LMFG, your take, not only on oil, but when you look at these bonds, 10 years up, 30 years down just a little bit, but the 10-year going up, 10-year really spiked. That's your mortgage rates, guys. What's your take on this stock market, brother?
Yeah, it's looking pretty ugly right now. It's what it is, man. You have to ride it out. Hopefully it doesn't, it ain't too bad. We'll see what happens. A lot is going to be on this Iran thing. Really,
and it's ugly. It's freaking ugly, man. JR, have a safe trip to go pick up the babies, brother. Be careful on the road, man. Keep your head on the swivel, bro. We're in some real weird times, man. When you're out there, guys, everybody keep your head on the swivel. We're getting some really, we're going to get into some wars. We're going to get into this war front because Camp Pendleton, did you see the actual alert that came out in Camp Pendleton? Not good. We got Chinooks and jets flying around Texas like crazy right now. Going to show you some video of that. It's not good. So back to the market. Bitcoin. You can thank the U.S. investors for this. You can thank the ETFs. You can thank the institutions, the exchanges. This is all U.S. guys. Internationally, Bitcoin is being dumped profusely. So the stronghold is U.S. when it comes to Bitcoin. Let's hope we can hold this 68, right? Because if it gets anywhere close to 59,000, and it may get there pretty quick if Marathon fires that trigger, which we already seen the 10K. I think a lot of the other conglomerates are going to do the same thing. Unfortunately, Ethereum, $1,900 Ethereum. A lot of people are getting really shaky over Ethereum. Here's the latest on this. Around the price, I think it's just under $2,000. The broader market is basically mixed on Ethereum, guys. Risk off sentiment across the board. ETF inflows are minimal, but they're all returning when it comes to Ethereum, which is decent. I think this is why you're seeing this thing peak over $2,000 every now and then. It's the ETF inflow. Okay. But the leverage concerns, and when it comes to the miners selling, and we're talking about Mara, course scientific shifting as well. A lot of these guys are taking their rigs and they're pointing them towards AI LMFG. They're not making money with Bitcoin anymore, but AI is very lucrative for these particular situations. And I'm thinking that's what Mars is looking at too now. They're looking at AI. They're looking at turning all their rigs towards AI, towards these data centers. That's adding a lot of pressure too, man. So, and like we were saying, last show, if they can't afford to plug them up, where does Bitcoin? I think you got a fork coming real soon. I don't know what they're going to shift to. I'm not going to say Bitcoin is going to go proof of stake. That would be horrendous. But what I'm seeing with the mining conglomerates up top and below, shifting energy crisis here, going difficulty rates and hash rates that are fluctuating dramatically. The core, the backbone of Bitcoin, which no one really talks about. Everybody talks about the price. I'm talking about the technology, what's under the hood. LMFG, this is something that we really need to start paying attention to, brother.
Right, yeah, and AI. Well, I'm intrigued by it. I'd like to your thought on this. The fetch AI, Sora, Render. I believe these projects have a really the utility there, because you're literally going to start making movies with these things. Follow me?
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Through all AI. So I think that's going to bring in an extreme amount of traffic once this starts going. And it's going to be down the road, but I see, because you're not going to have to make the movies like you do today with all the equipment and people. Yeah. You're going to just do it all electronically. So I don't know. There's a lot of good stuff with blockchain, man. No matter how bad this thing goes right now, who knows? I mean, like Mauer starts dumping like crazy and everybody else does, the big boys start, then you'll get that snowball and you could see $50 grand and maybe sub. I don't know.
That's what I'm worried about, man. The snowball effect.
Once it starts, it's really going to go.
Yeah, because we're talking $5 billion LMFG in that 10K. $5 billion, bro. So I don't know if it's going to be a cliff or is it going to be a trickle sell. I don't know. I mean, that wasn't said in the language how they're going to sell. I think they can do whatever they want. It's their Bitcoin. So are they going to have compassion? Are they going to have compassion for the lower level?
I think they will, and I think most corporations that large especially would, because that is their bloodline for the last, I don't know how long have they been. Mara's been out there for quite a while. Right?
Quite a while, yeah.
8-9 years or something.
Yeah, almost a decade, yeah.
So
quite a while, my friend, quite a while. We have some interesting, oh man, so we got to get into this war news, and I want to get through this a market report, and then I want to get into the TVL report because it's pretty interesting how DeFi is actually weathering the storm too. And I love DeFi. It's beautiful. The banks don't, but this is why they don't. You don't listen. DeFi 24/7. It's on chain. Beautiful yield you can get, with the synthetic tokens or with stable coins, right? So and I'm going to tell you guys, this is what no one's talking about. Even if they ban, the SEX for giving, rewards and things of that nature, you can still get yield in DeFi because there's no way Trump is going to allow during his term this Clarity Act to kill DeFi because it's a major part of his World Liberty Finance platform, guys, especially when it comes to RWAs. He's not going to allow them to kill DeFi because it would mortally wound his pet project, World Liberty Finance. So let's say they kill the yield with Coinbase and exchanges, USDC yield. So what? Who cares? I'm going to go to a secure decentralized finance application. There are many out there. Welcome to the show, Mom. Hope you're doing well. And I'm going to get some yield there because you can get there. It's double digit yield in some of those sectors. You can even get yield on Bitcoin now with Zeus. So very stable situation there too as well. So there's other options besides Coinbase. I think the Coinbase situation is Coinbase is making a killing. They're making so much money off of that. They don't want to give it up, but they're not regulated. The banks are like, you're not regulated. You're not a bank. If you're going to be a bank, this is what the bank said. If you're going to act like a bank, be a bank. Get regulated. You can't have your cake and eat it too. That's what the banks are saying. That's what Jamie Dimon is saying too. We're going to read his statements because I thought that was pretty interesting. He's livid. He's pissed off about what's going on.
Yeah, it's like you're not paying at least 50 people $300,000 plus a year.
Absolutely.
That's pretty much the difference from central banks and decentralized banks.
No, absolutely. They're pissed. It's like, nah, you need to come down to our level. If you're going to be a bank, be a bank. If you're going to do this, you're going to do it right. You're going to be regulated. You're going to do AML. You're going to do KYC profusely. And they want DeFi to do KYC too, by the way.
On retainer, you're not a bank.
Absolutely. They're saying that it's easy road for Coinbase and entities of that nature. But tons of loopholes. They want that taken away. They want these guys' the feet to be held to the fire, just like the bank rules. They want Coinbase to abide by all the bank rules. We'll see. XRP $1.36. XRP is trying to get back to $1.50. I don't think so. BNB, I don't think it's going to get back to over $1,000. It's at $634. It's up actually 8%. On the week, Solana $85. I was calling for $50 Solana because of that big DeFi hack, one of the largest DeFi protocols on that chain. But it is battling. It's up almost 10% on the week. Tron 28. We know Justin Sun is holding that bag. He's holding that up. He owns almost 30% of that damn thing, I believe, allegedly. 8 cents for Dogecoin. It is down. ADA, we're going to get to Charles here in a minute. 26 cents. Bitcoin Cash, still above $400. We have Hyperliquid, which is doing very well, by the way. Hyperliquid is killing it. That over the weekend trading was crazy, but it's still below $50. So a lot of people are not even worried about the exchange, the actual core product. They just want that price to get back up to 50. So up almost 20% on the week. Monero 341, Chainlink $8. Man, I still think Chainlink is at a great price. From where it's headed, it's irreplaceable. It's at $8. Crazy. It's almost up 8% for the week as well. Canton 15. We're gonna round it up with Stellar 15 cents, and then we got Litecoin 54, and Hedera 9 cents, and AVAX. Go ahead and we'll stop it with AVAX. $9. Great price for AVAX. Up almost 11%, and hand clap for the market. Let's go ahead and get into this TVL report right here. So I told you guys about the TVL and LMFG. DeFi is beautiful. Globally, $93.11 billion globally when it comes to all the chains, and when it comes to DeFi, when it comes to the TVL, total value lock and decentralized finance. Tremendous. The banks are so jealous of this. Stablecoin volume is up. I have to tell you, up almost 0.5% within the last 24 hours. Lots of volume when it comes to the DEXs across the board here with the chains. When it comes to decentralized finance, $9 billion LMFG within a 24-hour period. DeFi is strong. I don't think they'll ever be able to get rid of this. It is very, very strong right now. Even in the midst of all this, decentralized finance is king. It is the core of a lot of the tech. This is how you start your tech. If you're building a blockchain, you're deploying an ecosystem, you better have decent TVL, and you better have a prediction market too as well. But you better have some implanted decentralized finance applications on during your rollout so you can actually get some of this. What's your take on this resiliency when it comes to DeFi?
Right. Well, it's where you're making your money. So you're getting your 4% plus interest, loaning and borrowing, and it's bringing traffic to all those different chains. This is a beautiful thing.
I love it.
It's what I mean. I believe once the Clarity Act goes through, dude, this is going to snowball. And like I said, you're going to see $7 trillion, $10 trillion in blockchain. And I don't think it's going to be all in Bitcoin. It's going to be more in your blue chips that are running right now that wind up taking on that traffic. It's just time. These friggin' politicians and the banks, the Disney trips, man. These guys suck. The guys that we got there, the politicians. I seen that thing from Hoskinson. I agree with him 100%.
Yeah. Oh, the whole. Did you see the whole video? We're just gonna look at a minute of it. The whole video was just scathing. He brought up XRP, which they don't get along. I wish they would get along. He has some good points. They're getting a skate and pass, but they don't need any clarity. I keep telling people, let's go ahead and get into it. I keep telling XRP does not need. They already got their clarity months ago. This is Brad Garlinghouse and Larson. They're just eating popcorn right now, just watching the show. They're good.
Yeah, they're good. If it goes, no matter what, even if it gets tweaked, they're still good. No matter what.
Absolutely. Yeah.
They can deal with it as is. It doesn't change their business model.
Not by one iota. You're sure right.
And I only seen the little minute clip of him here. So
we're gonna. I want to get your take on this. Let's dissect this and I read the caption there because he's right. Cardano founder. This is a quote. I guess we just have to pass this horrific bill. This is what Charles was saying. Trash build of a bill. You're talking to Clarity Act, the Senate version. Essentially, the House version was just dusted. Oh, it just crumbled up and threw in the trash. It's crazy what they did to the House bill. It's crazy. Let's get into what Charles said.
I guess we just have to pass a horrific trash bill that makes everything a security by default, and it creates attack vectors through bureaucratic nonsense for the SEC to destroy all future American cryptocurrency projects. And also, there's nothing in this for DeFi. Nothing. Uniswap doesn't get anything. Prediction markets don't get anything. Armstrong can't even get his yield-bearing stablecoins. This is not a good bill. Through rulemaking, it can become horrific and weaponized, and it doesn't cover the core of what's going on in the industry right now. Then they say we can always amend the bill later. Then why is there such a rush to pass it?
What's your take, brother? I agree with everything he said. I don't care what you do to it. It's trash. I think you need to bring the Genius Act back too and do some amendments there because it's trash. What's your take? And I think Cliff here in the comment section, everybody's going off. Bitcoin is the only non-security. This is what Cliff was saying. I disagree. Ethereum, you got to put Ethereum in there as well. Satoshi Disciple says, why does Cardano even exist? Has it even made one person's life better? That's pretty harsh right there. This was an interesting, response to his voices. Watching his entire video in context, it makes more sense. And I did. He's right. He articulates by the language used in the article, it would put every crypto in the state of a security rather than a commodity under initial classification. This is heavy. This would totally reverse what was already done a couple of years ago. Until it becomes a mature cryptocurrency market, this will penalize new blockchain efforts and make them beholden to the SEC during their early days. The process to become a commodity would be a ladder event, essentially. And Hoskinson argues it would be a scenario like unto asking permission to be considered a commodity all over again. What you take, brother? 'Cause I like this take right here. This is what Hoskinson is saying. We're going back to square one with this shit.
Yeah. Like he said, this goes through. There's not a project out there. Well, here's the thing: the project can come out there, but you're going to do like an IPO. I forget what TGE, not a TGE. A fundraiser.
Absolutely.
To get money. So now you're going to need all these lawyers, accountants, all this stuff has to go up in front of the SEC. And guess what? When you put in the application, how long before they get back to you? Right?
Yeah.
It can be on, and then when they do get back to you, they're like, "Oh, well, we get 6 months," and then on the 5 months and 29 days, they hand you a thing with all these red marks on it, and you got to go back to the drawing board, back to the lawyers, and it just screw everything up. He's 100% right. This thing cannot go through like this. And as long as, could you imagine they'll be another amendment coming where if they sign it, they're going to try to go retroactive on giving yield to stable coins.
Yeah, it's crazy, bro.
I wouldn't put anything past them, you know what I mean? But as long as this thing doesn't go through, you got to realize Coinbase is still going to be able to give you your 4% interest on your USDC.
Yeah.
As it's status quo.
Yeah, well, yeah, nothing's changed. I don't think, 2029 is what this man is saying. So we're good, right? And the fact that there's nothing in for DeFi, actually that's a good thing. There's nothing good or bad. But, there's some forms of regulation that I think we probably need on a lighter level when it comes to DeFi, but not a lot. And Charles has pointed that out. I agree with him on that. I want to get to what Diamond said. Let's get to what Diamond said about it, because he's really mad about this whole situation. And I don't think anybody cares, but it's worth even getting into. It says, Diamond says, if crypto companies like Coinbase want to offer stablecoin yields or rewards, then they should become banks. Quote, then you can do whatever you want, unquote. This is what Diamond says. Become a bank. Do the necessary, do your due diligence, do the paperwork, become a bank. This is what Trump is doing with World Liberty Finance. This is what XRP's done. You have exchanges that are going this route too as well. Now, when pressed on the issue Monday, which was yesterday, JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon struck a decisively hardline tone, arguing that if banks were subject to certain restrictions that crypto firms' offerings yields on stablecoins holdings are not, the situation could spell disastrous for the U.S. economy. And he's right. He's right. There's a low percentage of the public, especially the U.S., that are taking advantage of this, in a decentralized manner. Most people that I talk to don't even understand Bitcoin. They don't even know what cryptocurrency is, but they know what Wells Fargo is. They know what Bank of America is. They know what the First National Bank, the credit union, they know that very well. But they don't know a damn thing about crypto and stable coins. Here's another quote from Jamie Dimon, I'm sorry. Quote, it can't be, all right? You have these people doing one thing without any regulation. He's talking about Coinbase and the other entities, and these people doing another. He's talking about he's talking about the banks versus Coinbase in the same entity. So you have the banks doing it the right way, and he's saying basically Coinbase and the SEX cryptocurrency entities, they're doing it another way. Diamond said this cannot continue to go on. So there has to be some regulation here. This is what the Clarity Act is doing. The language is very, very hard. Very harsh on our current climate with DeFi and cryptocurrency right now. Here's another quote. If you want to be a bank, become a bank. He keeps saying this, bro. Now, under the Stablecoin Focused Genius Act, which was signed into law by President Trump last summer, stablecoin issuers must comply with certain rules related to anti-money laundering, liquidity, and risk management as well. We have that. But the current, and by the way, Elizabeth Warren says that's not enough. But the current drama playing out in Washington has more to do with middlemen like Coinbase. And it's just not Coinbase. They always talk about this because Brian is the one that this is who we see. But there's more. They're just behind Brian Armstrong. They're cowering behind Coinbase. I think that's ridiculous. They need to show up. They need to help him. They need to help him, LMFG. I don't know if you agree with me, but they need to come outside of the fold. They need to show up.
No, I mean, and you're talking like all the DEXs, right?
Absolutely.
Right. Yeah. 100%. 100%. Why not Binance US? We haven't heard nothing from them.
Crickets.
That's where they at. Right.
It's just crickets. They're quiet. They're quiet like little church mice. It's crazy. Now, let's continue. Like Coinbase, which are seeking to have the right to pass stablecoin rewards onto the customers that are enshrined, or at the very least, not reduced, in a sprawling crypto market structure bill called the Clarity Act. So they don't want a reduction. The banks, I think, they did actually concede. They did come to a conclusion on that, and they basically want the rates on the yield when it comes to, however you want to call it, rewards or yields, the same thing. They wanted to mirror or kind of run parallel with the banks. So I think you're getting 0.10. I don't know what you're getting in your area. I know these credit unions are very low. The yield is very low on your savings. Even if you got a high, powered, high yield situation with money markets, it's still not 5-6%. You're not getting 10%. You know what I'm saying? So it's unfair. This is what the banks are saying. This is so unfair. Our users and our account holders, they don't like crypto, but it's unfair to them because they can't do it. It's a very infantile argument. It's very silly.
Right. And I believe what they should be saying, no, like Armstrong and the politicians say, well, no, you start your own sex and have a nice day. Join the crowd.
Yeah.
But then become a competition. Have a nice day. Just the opposite, instead of us coming bank, hey, you become a sex. Have a nice day.
Yeah, it's bizarre. It's freaking bizarre. All right, now it's time to get some of this. This is what, man, this is crazy. All right, so it's time for the Iran stuff. This is so bearish, man, but this is the talk of the town. We got to get into this Count Pendleton situation. I really, LMFG. This really kind of rocked me right here. Base advisor. We got the base advisors that are coming out right now. We got the governor of Texas coming out saying, watch out, guys. Keep your head on a swivel. Weird shit going on the border. We got Chinooks flying all over the place. Fighter jets flying all over the place here in Texas. We're going to show you some video of that in San Antonio. Camp Pendleton, base advisor here, says Marine Corps base Camp Pendleton is currently operating at Force Protection FP Con. That's going to be a Bravo Plus, LMFG. Effectively, immediately, the Trusted Travelers program is suspended as well until further notice. So we're going all the way back to 9/11 type status here. Bases are shut down. Okay. It's starting to get real, brother. It's starting to get real. It continues here. Department of War ID card holders may no longer vouch for vehicle occupants at installations and entry points. This is going across the board, across the country, all bases. All non-DOW affiliated visitors must be sponsored by an authorized DOW ID card holder. We're talking Department of War, formerly known as Department of Defense. You must be sponsored by somebody that's part of that. Sponsors must be present during processing as well. So that person has to be standing alongside you during the actual process of authorization. Sponsors are responsible for their guests on base and their conduct as well. So if you're acting crazy, you might get kicked off the base, or they're watching everybody right now. Failure to comply with visitor processing requirements may result in disbarment or debarment, restricted future access indefinitely for the visitors, or a loss of sponsorship privileges for the sponsor as well. So it goes both ways. Camp Pendleton, look out. You're on Bravo Plus. Does it go any further, LMFG? Are we going any further with this? It's ridiculous.
Yes, I don't know. But I kind of can see that too, though. You know what I mean? You got to realize how many of these guys are on our turf these days. It could be 100,000 of them. I don't know. Those borders, there's a lot of people that came in.
Yeah, they're back to blaming Biden for that. That's all I'm hearing. That's all I woke up seeing. Biden. It's because of Biden. We have all these sleepers and all this. It's crazy, bro. But I think it's time to stop blaming Biden. I mean, seriously, we need to deal with what's going on now. President Trump. Here's another one. President Trump ends all trade with Spain. Did you catch this, brother? Spain basically refused our military for using their bases for launching attacks against Iran. So Trump says, you know what? We're going to go ahead and just cut everything off. We're going to ban trade just because you refused for us, you refused our bases, you refused, our military to use your installations. This is what Trump said.
Spain has absolutely nothing that we need other than great people. They have great people, but they don't have great leadership. And as you know, they were the only country that in NATO would not agree to go up to 5%. I don't think they would have agreed to go up to anything. They wanted to keep it at 2%, and they don't pay the 2%. So we're going to cut off all trade with Spain. We don't want anything to do with Spain.
So, he said that earlier. This is a slap back. I mean, it's this presidential, bro. I mean, it kind of seems like, I don't know. It's very, very immature. But, this is what's happening now. This is the new dynamic, bro. This is the new dynamic when it comes to the White House, when it comes to world affairs, new dynamic in the Middle East. You have Dubai, which was considered a safe haven, a very safe place for people to go. People are freaking out right now in Dubai, right? Bahrain is not looking good right now. LMFG, was this a good move to sever ties with Spain?
No, and like you said, he's vindictive. He's too much,
Yeah.
I don't get it.
I don't think this guy really cares right here. He had some things to say, but it's all, you have to decode it. It's not in English, but he wasn't very happy at all. Not good. Now, this is, I need to get back to this one now. This is another thing that I want to talk about here too as well. This general has some very scathing things to say here. And I want to react to this because this is something that I didn't want to hear. Okay. This is something that a lot of people are in denial about as well. I want your reaction on this, bro, because this is a retired U.S. Army colonel. And a lot of people know Colonel Douglas here. He said some things that really rocked a lot of people recently. Let's get into this.
What about China's ability to impact outcomes in the Straits of Hormuz with what is now the government of Iran and then 50% of their oil on the other side waiting to get through?
Well, China and Russia are sitting on the sidelines monitoring everything. They're in close touch with the government. They're providing satellite intelligence, which accounts for some of the tremendous successes, particularly in Israel and on our U.S. bases. All of our bases have been destroyed. Our harbor installations are destroyed. We're actually having to fall back on India and Indian ports, which are less than ideal. That's what the Navy says. And I think Iran, much to our disappointment, is faring very, very well. The question is, how long can we keep this up? I think logistics is the vulnerable part of this entire operation. Remember, you got to go back and reload. You've got to fly things in. You've got to sail in. Iran is a continental power, 93 million people, the size of Western Europe. Both China and Russia are continental powers. They don't have supply chain problems. Their manufacturing capabilities are intact. Right now, the missile cities that underlie all of Iran's provinces are untouched, and they have an inexhaustible supply of missiles. I think this is going to go on for some time, and the question is, when does Israel step up and say they've had enough? We went through that before during the 12-day war. When do they say this is too much? When do they say if this doesn't stop, we use a nuclear weapon? That's what I would be concerned about, and that's where President Trump, who really doesn't appear to be in charge, Mr. Netanyahu does, has got to be prepared to step in and say, no, there will be no use of nuclear weapons. That's what I worry about.
See, this is what's on my mind too, as well. LMFG, what's your take on this? Because he says some things that we've come to learn that is very true, right? This is getting very crazy, falling back on India. We have Spain that's rejecting the use of the bases. We have missiles that are flying all over the place, brother. The Dubai stuff. I'm still trying to wrap my hands around that. I'm seeing a lot of video on TikTok. People they don't know what to do, right? They didn't expect this. This was supposed to be a safe haven. A lot of the actual missiles are unable to be knocked down because of the supersonic nature of the missiles coming out of Iran. This is crazy, brother. This is crazy. How long does this, can we go 90 days? I don't think we can, brother. And then we talked about the Strait. It's really not Iran that's keeping these boats and this product now. It's the insurance companies. Don't you dare go through the strait. This is what they're telling these skippers. So what's your take on this, what the colonel said?
Yeah, makes sense if they have stockpiles hidden throughout their whole country. And then bad to say, I hate to say it, but that's where you're going to wind up needing boots on the grounds. If you keep blowing these launchers up, and yet all of a sudden another one pops up here, another one pops up there, who knows how many of them they have? And if that is the case, that could be ugly, because then what do you do? Because they see these things as soon as they take off. As soon as a launcher sends out a missile, that thing's blown up within minutes. Right. They can't, even the mobile ones, they get a track on them immediately. So I don't think it's going to be like that. I think you're going to, I don't know if you heard it, I think it happened this morning, like 18 of them got together to, I guess, say who's going to be in charge. And they say that they blew those guys up too. Oh,
you talking about in Tel Aviv?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. I was trying to make sure that was credible. But yeah,
right.
man.
I don't know if it's credible, but if it is, so now it's going to be like, well, who wants to try to meet and who wants to take the reins?
That was crazy. Yeah, because apparently that happened in Tel Aviv. They were meeting. It's kind of like a meeting they were having. It was 10 generals, I believe, something like that.
So there's intelligence there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
You're talking about this one right here. Yeah, I remember, this was crazy report. I remember this. Yeah, this is the one you're talking about right here. So, and this is actually, this report ran parallel to some stuff I've seen on the TV actually. Iranian hypersonic missiles have reportedly targeted a security meeting of the Israeli cabinet in Tel Aviv. Allegedly, reports claim that more than 10 Israeli defense generals were actually deceased there, unalive there during that strike. So, yeah, it's getting real, brother. It's getting too real. This is getting way out of control, and I don't think you can pull out at this point in time. And I don't think the talking is it too late to talk, LMFG? Is it too late for talking? I don't know.
No, that's the sooner they talk, the better, and make it at least a ceasefire, and something has to happen. They got to bring the people in. Over 80% of the people in Iran are happy as hell.
Yeah, I saw the video of that, man.
So that's pretty. It has to say something if they can get something going and talks, because all their he took out like 50 of them or something, and I'm sure a lot of the Hezbollah guys they got. So they got and somebody put it perfect too, though. These are terrorist groups, and they're decentralized.
Yep.
It's not like there's look at the United States. You got the Pentagon. That's where everybody is. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Granted, there's decentralization there too, but not like these groups, because they're in all the hospitals and schools. They're just spread out all over the place. Dangerous. So boots in the ground there would be very bad, I think.
Well, it's going to be bloody. It's going to be bloody.
Get off this topic. I don't like this shit.
I don't. Yeah, I know. We got Huckabee embassies. Huckabee's over there really, really freaking out. There's Stu Peters here, and this is pretty much been reported on national news as well. Huckabee's embassy has announced that they will not be assisting any Americans when it comes to getting out of Israel. If you hadn't gotten out there at this time, there will be no assistance. And this really hit me, bro. It says Trump is giving Netanyahu the blood. Yeah, I'm not even going to read that. This is opinion right here. I'm not going to read his opinion. I'm not even going to go there. But just the fact that these embassies, Huckabee, I think he's in hiding right now. Essentially, it's really serious down there. Here's some. I'm not going to do the sound, but this is what happened this morning. The morning there in Israel. This is bombardment, bro. These are residential areas here. This is amazingly sad. These are innocent people here. I think the count for the children that passed away in that school, it's in the 200s, right? All girls, God bless their soul. This is what's happening, right? Now, stateside, this is in my state. Now, this is what we're seeing here in my state. These Chinooks in these fighter jets, they're scrambling. We don't know where the hell they're going. Down in San Antonio, all right? They're shaking the buildings. This is how these Chinooks are huge helicopters, they have 2 propellers, front and back. You know them very well, LMFG. I'm going to read this. Here we go. While you were sleeping, this was happening. MH-47 Chinooks ripped low over San Antonio, Texas, guys. And I actually validated this because I am in Texas here locally, and shook the entire neighborhood. Now, windows are rattling, walls are vibrating, people jolted out of their beds across the blocks. Residents are saying they've never seen this type of movement before. Never experienced this type of movement ever. We're talking about 30-year residents. They're on the news talking about this. They were low and loud, unmistakable, over residential rooftops. Hustle bitch is like, what the hell is going on? Now here's Epic Treasure. She's broke this down. The U.S. airspace is insane right now. These are all military, but the number of fighter jets alone is the most I've seen ever. And this is, you have some graphics here of all the traffic from North Texas up into Oklahoma. Scrambling. These are some screenshots from Flight Trader 24. You can track these vehicles unless the transponders are taken off. And during wartime, these are probably going to disappear. Wouldn't you say, LMFG? If there was any type of confrontation here stateside, you wouldn't be able to see this because the transponders would be offline. And I totally get that, for security reasons for the pilots and things of that nature. But this is Alabama, Mississippi right here. Major scrambling of military vehicles here in Alabama and across the South here, San Antonio. LMFG, what do we have here, brother? Do we have an issue here? I know the Governor Abbott here in Texas sent out an all points bulletin about keeping your head on a swivel here in my state, being aware, fully aware of what's going on around you. Basically put out a warning to the public, be ready for anything. What's your take, brother?
Yeah, it kind of don't make sense. Why are they flying all over the place?
That was a lot of activity, brother. Now, you have some people in the comments saying that they're training. I don't think that's training, bro.
What about just flying these things around because they've been sitting?
Yeah, I mean,
making sure they're good and then bringing them down, fueling them up, and getting them ready to put them on a boat. I don't know. It doesn't make sense. And then the Chinooks, I mean, that's just staying on the radar, but it doesn't make no sense.
Look how low they are, bro.
I know I can imagine that, and I know the houses were shaking like crazy. Those things could be 2,000 feet up in the air, and your house is shake. Well, you may not shake, but man, you're gonna hear them.
Those things you're talking about, 2 propellers, massive amounts of downforce. Okay. I'm counting at least 10 that went over the residential area. I've seen these, but they're way higher when I've seen them before in the past. It's usually 1 or 2, maybe 3 flying together, and they're way higher than what we're looking at right here.
And you hear them for a couple minutes before you see them.
Exactly. That's how loud they are. These things are like, what, 5,000 feet? 6,000 feet? Something like that? Maybe not. I mean, maybe even lower than that. I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but it's scaring the crap out of people.
Right here, them things aren't even 1,000 feet up in the air, man. 1,500 feet up in the air. They're not that high.
There you go. There you go. Crazy. Well, it scared the crap out of a lot of people there. A lot of people there. So if you want a little, let's watch this video. This is a little excerpt of what this thing is actually used for.
Beast has been around for more than 60 years, and no one else has matched it. China tried. Can you believe this?
This is a little bit of a history on the Chinook, just in case you don't understand this beast. It's a carrier vehicle. I mean, you can carry a lot of soldiers in this, and there was a lot. I don't know where they're going, but holy crap. That's the goal, to scare people. That's what DJ McCauley says. Yeah, you're right. Check this out. This is what the Chinook is. This is what it's used for. It's an old aircraft. I think it dates back to the conception of the A-10 Warthog too, right? I think they were made simultaneously within the same time, with the same era, I believe, as the A-10. I could be wrong, but.
Can you believe this? To this day, only one country has ever pulled it off. That's the CH-47 Chinook. This flying beast has been around for more than 60 years, and no one else has matched it. China tried, Russia tried, even the Soviet Union gave it a shot. They all failed. Why? Because the design is insanely complex. The Chinook uses two massive rotors that spin in opposite directions. They have to stay perfectly in sync at all times. If they slip even a fraction of a second, the whole aircraft tears itself apart. The Soviets built the Yak-24. China made a prototype. Neither even got close. The truth is, only the US cracked this kind of mechanical precision. Only the US had the engineering to make it work. And it's not just it can fly. The upgraded CH-47F is actually cheaper to run. Compared to the older D model, operating costs per flight hour dropped about 20%. Over time, that saves billions. So the Chinook isn't some outdated relic. It's a masterpiece of aviation history. 6 decades later, the rest of the world is still playing catch-up.
So it's a beast. It's a beast. I've actually seen one on the ground before. It's pretty huge too, but and it's very old, just like the A-10 Warthog. That thing is very old, but they still fly there. It's still in use. You know, that's an amazing aircraft, and it's like
I
40 years old.
Yeah, its payload is like off the wall, and that's what they could. Either you could put like 30 or 40 soldiers in there. You could load it with ammo.
Yeah,
it's a real heavy payload. I'm not sure, but.
Well, what we're going to do is we're going to end with this, and then we'll get to the giveaway. This is Hegseth, our Secretary of War. And we're talking about boots on the ground. And everybody's like, oh, we're going to see our guys on the ground. This is what Hegseth said. And it was very convoluted. And then we'll get your take on that LMG. And then we're going to get to this giveaway because it's so bearish right now. They're killing the markets with this crap. God bless the innocents, man. It's so crazy what's going on. This is what Hegseth says about possible boots. Will we be pulled into it, or are we actually pulling Israel into it? This is the actual consensus here. This is not consensus, but this is the talk. Did we pull Israel into this, or did Israel pull us into it? No one knows. Everybody's got their actual opinions about it, but we really don't know. It doesn't matter. We're there. And this is happening, and it's not cool.
Are there currently any American boots on the ground in Iran?
No, but we're not going to go into the exercise of what we will or will not do. I think it's one of those fallacies for a long time that this department or presidents or others should tell the American people, this and our enemies, by the way, here's exactly what we'll do. Here's exactly how long we'll go. Here's exactly how far we'll go. Here's what we're willing to do and not do. It's foolishness. And so President Trump ensures that our enemies understand we'll go as far as we need to go to advance American interests. But we're not dumb about it. You don't have to roll 200,000 people in there and stay for 20 years. We've proven that you can achieve objectives that advance American interests without being foolish about it. Now, will we be bold about it? Are we willing to be decisive about it? Do we put months and months of planning into what kind of effects we want to achieve? Absolutely. But going forward, why in the world would we tell you, the enemy, anybody, what we will or will not do in pursuit of an objective? We fight to win. We fight to achieve the objectives the President of the United States has laid out, and we will do so unapologetically.
So your take, bro. He made some sense. You know, you don't want to telegraph your moves. You don't want to let your right hand know what your left hand is doing. That's proper. I totally get that. But as far as boots on the ground, I think the majority of the country is like, hell no. We didn't vote for this. We don't want our guys over there. What the hell are we doing over there? That's the majority of the country now. A lot of people are saying, yep, you did vote for this. I don't know. What's your take, bro? And Hegseth, he made some good points. You don't want to telegraph your move, right? What's your take, man? This is crazy.
Yeah. For one, I like that. I like that attitude. You know, it's big. Instead of like what Bush did or Obama did.
Yeah.
I mean, they
Dick Cheney.
For 6 months. We're going to blow those mountains up. We're going to blow them up. And so when they all got out of there, then they blew them up. It was like, what a waste of freaking ammo.
Absolutely.
You told them for 6 months you were going to blow them up, and you always kick the can down the road. Oh, next month we're going to do it. Hello, McFly. And like I said, I really hope, and I really do think it will, because of the advanced technology we have. Every time they shoot a missile, that thing gets blown up. Any men around it, they get killed. And after how many times that happens, are they going to have to throw in the towel? You know, I don't think this is going to go on for 5 weeks. I really don't. I'm expecting a week, and you're going to see them trying to have talks. And during those talks, you're going to, it's decentralized. So you got all these different groups. Some of them are still going to be putting shit up when other ones are going to be trying to talk. So we'll see how it goes. That's all.
We got to wrap it up.
I hate to see this.
We got to wrap it up because it's destabilizing a lot, bro. A lot of infrastructure when it comes to oil production is being destroyed. The Saudi Arabia situation is crazy. A really important radar was busted up to a radar that, played a big part. $1 billion radar system completely destroyed. It's not good. Now, Trump describes operation as preemptive to stop, Iranian attacks and missile programs, essentially. And we were told before during the 12-day war that the bunker busters actually did this, but they did not, unfortunately. They did not take out the missile stockpile because they are launching 2nd, 3rd, and 5th generation Fatas. We were told that those were destroyed. So I digress from that. Trump says this could last 4 to 5 weeks or longer. But here's the but. This is per Trump. The Iranian Navy and Air Force and the Texan systems were largely knocked out. We're not seeing the results of that because they are fully functional. They're lobbing lots of artillery. So I don't know. We're getting some, information that just doesn't add up. But I digress from that. We're going to end with the giveaway. Let's go ahead and move to the giveaway because gee whiz, man, gee whiz. Let's get this going. We're going to give out some soul, ladies and gentlemen, to the members. We have the wheel populated. I made sure everybody got on there. Hope you enjoyed the content. And please heed the message within the member video, the member content, guys. And remember what I told you, just be careful. A lot of pitfalls, The meme sector is crazy. Lots of rugs in the meme sector. Be careful with the memes. Be very careful out there with the scams too as well. Watch your wallet. Don't click anything malicious. Watch the weird NFTs that show up on your wallet as well. Hide them immediately. Some of the wallet tech actually hides those as well before you see them. And watch your email too. You're going to get some weird emails. Cyber crimes are going to be at all-time high. It's going to be a lot of hacking going on. So especially if this war continues, you're going to get on a digital level where you're going to be attacked. Be careful with your emails. All that, the Telegram, your DMs, be careful who you are communicating with. Make sure you know them. And if you don't, block them immediately. So we're going to get with this video. We're going to get with this, with the giveaway. We're going to get 3 winners who want to give out some soul to, and you have to be a member to get on this. I just want to put this out here. You have to become a member and participate with the member content. Comment on the content. Let me know how you feel about it. And then that will get you on this wheel. That's your ticket to get on the wheel. Let's go. Starting off with a good spin, brother. All right, so I think the first winner is going to be, I'm going to call Larry69, and I think it's going to be Larry69. Welcome to the winner group. And Larry69, you are the first winner, brother. So let's go ahead and get 2 more. I think it's going to be Beloved Summer. Just like it's rolling into Beloved Summer as the second winner. So hand clap to you. Beautiful. So number 2 is going to be Beloved Summer. We need 1 more. And I think we're about to get it. Who do you think is going to win, LMFG? I think I'm going to go with Rami. I think Rami's going to take it. So you got really close. So it's going to be Rami 90158 is going to be the last winner. So let's go ahead and do a recount of that. We got Larry69 is going to be the first one. Hand clap to you, sir. Beloved Summer is going to be number 2. And Rami 90158. That's going to wrap up the winner circle for today. Congratulations to the winners, and you know what to do. And I'll get that sold to you ASAP. Now, I'm not seeing any other, all the news, all the crypto is being washed out for the war talk. So if you are, have the timeline filters, you probably want to lock it on crypto if you just want to lock out the news or whatever, because it's getting crazy. X is flooded with the war news. So, and it is what it is. The Google Trends, that's all everybody is searching for is, Trump, Iran war news. This is the trending topics right now. So it's unfortunate. Watcher Guru just broke this. President Trump orders U.S. Navy to escort oil tankers through the Straits of Hormuz, if necessary, to ensure free flow of energy. This is a bad idea because it's only going to take one of those actual ships, one of our Navy vessels, to get hit. And then I think all hell is going to break loose in the Straits. That's going to cause a major situation. Do you agree with this right here? The Navy escorting the oil tankers. Is this needed? I mean, I think this excites more violence. It puts the naval vessels in the crosshairs, big time, going through the Straits. There's mines there. I don't know about this. And what do you think, brother?
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, again, they got to get all these missile launching sites. You got to take them out, and the sooner that happens, the better. Because I can't see that strait being closed for long without them going through. And maybe they should just throw a couple of the Navy ships going through there, let them attack them so they can take out their launching sites. We'll see. I don't know, brother. Scary. Ugly.
Yeah, we're getting oh man. Yeah, I'm not going to show this right here at all. This is probably going to get I'm not going to do that. Good grief. Yeah, lots. Be careful what you watch. Be careful what you're looking at on X, because there's some graphic stuff that's popping up right now. We'll just leave it at that. Yeah, be looking for the Navy to get involved here pretty heavily in the Straits, because it's getting critical. And you were talking about the oil thing earlier. It may not hit us very dramatically right now, but if we get 3, 4, 5 weeks into this, and then that's when it's going to start hitting us, bro. That's when the backlog is going to start hitting us, not only with the oil, but regular container freight as well. Because Meserick just stopped their boats. Their insurance company said, you know what? This is one of the largest container ship haulers on the planet. Their insurance company said, stop the boats. Stop the boats. So I feel like this is the pressure that Donald is feeling. So this is why he's ordering the Navy to escort oil tankers. God bless the Navy. It's getting a little crazy.
Yeah, and I would doubt if you see something happen yet, because this is pretty much price gouging. For them to bounce 45 cents a gallon overnight, I mean, they already had their oil that they bought at 60, 50, 60, 75, not even $70 a barrel. I mean, I don't see this. They already have this fuel here. So this is price gouging. And that's just here. I don't know what it is anywhere else, but you can imagine California, they probably bounced $1. Right?
Yeah. This is getting a little crazy, man. It's getting a little crazy. Yeah, Saudi embassies just got hit too. Like, Jesus Christ. All right, so we're going to get out of here. LMFG, last take on the market. Bitcoin is handling business. It's at 68, but I told you it's all U.S. It's all the U.S. It's all the institutions within the U.S. It's all BlackRock, Sailor. Little retail mixed into it. Internationally, everybody's dumping Bitcoin. What's your take, bro, before we get out of here? 68,000, holding steady, consolidating hard. Where does it go from here, brother?
Yeah, I know. I'm noticing that everything's just holding steady, even the alts. It's nothing's going crazy. I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully, like I said, I'm hoping this thing gets put out real quick. Yeah. And they want to come to the table and it straightens out real quick. Fingers crossed, And then with the markets, I don't know. Again, hold, get your 4% interest on Coinbase with your USDC and see what happens.
Yeah. No, most definitely. I want to get this in, sneak this in about AI generated artwork. This is a Supreme Court ruling that just came down. AI generated artwork officially is ineligible for copyright protection, as the U.S. Supreme Court declined to review an appeal case. So they just threw this out. The court rules that artwork needs to have a human creator in order to be eligible for copyright protection. That's pretty huge, bro. That is really huge coming out of the Supreme Court.
And that's what I was just talking about with that soul render and all that. I'm like, how's this going to work? Because Hollywood's going to get squashed. Wow.
So, yeah. So there you go. There you go. So with that.
Remember I said they better start putting copyrights on their voices and faces. I would still do it anyway.
Well, I mean, the court clearly said it has to be a human that created it, not AI, before you can copyright it. So pretty interesting. So, you know, I guess Hollywood is happy about that. I don't know. Or should they be? I don't know. But with that being said, y'all have a good one. Be safe. Keep your head on the swivel. Watch your wallets and don't get caught up in this. I don't want to call it a bear trap. I don't know what kind of trap it is, but don't get caught up in it. All right. Stay safe.